This is Japan's most awkward apartment. Let me show you around. This is the building from the outside, seemingly completely unassuming, but it's in the Sangen-jaya area of Tokyo, right near a 5-point crossing that is far from quiet. But as we head inside, things start to unravel pretty quickly. Now it does have gated access that uses this interesting little card thing here. I should just be able to push that into there like this. There we go. And it also has a security camera right at the entrance. Building has a total of 4 floors with 1, 2, 3 units on each floor. You also have a fire extinguisher for all 3 units, which you know is going to get used on your neighbor's place when it inevitably burns down. And then you open up the front door of your apartment and shock and amaze your guests. Like, just imagine being invited over to a friend's house, opening up that door to step into this space and be like, why? I'm sorry, I've clearly made a mistake. It will certainly make you grateful for the gated entry down below, and come to think about it, there's actually one very positive use case for this here in Japan. I'll share that in a second. And if you close the door, you can really feel how tiny the space is. Now, this is far from being the smallest tiny apartment bathroom we've been in, or the worst, or for that matter, even the most exposed, but I gotta try the tub, right? Tub works. And as you can see, this is another one of those classic Japanese share the love with your neighbor kind of toilet and bath situations. Honestly, it's just great to see Japan staying on theme. And if you're worried about privacy, the place does have blinds as well. And they work exactly as blinds should. And interestingly enough, the architect who designed this place, yes, an architect designed this place, specializes in putting toilets in weird or interesting positions. I guess we've all got to have a hobby. But at least the toilet itself comes with a heated seat as well as a proper functioning washlet and a little sink on top. You could probably fit a soap dispenser somewhere. I'm also not going to subject you to opening up that lid. I made that mistake myself and greatly regret it. And then the apartment itself is among the tiniest we've seen yet, but hear me out on this one, there's a lot more than meets the eye. Also, this is not blinds, despite looking like it is frosted glass for literally everywhere except for the one spot that you want it. Okay, are you ready? This is it. Japanese apartment, so shoes off at the front door. It feels kind of ridiculous, but again, hear me out on this one. Okay, to give you some idea of perspective and scale for this place, I can cross the entire apartment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not in less than 10 steps. That was 9 steps for the entire thing. I always bring a tape measure along for these, so let's measure. That is just over 5 meters for that section and just under 2 for the remainder, bringing us to about 7 meters length for the entire apartment. And side to side, it isn't even a step. Like, I didn't even know I could do that. And there's always somebody who thinks that it just looks tinier because you're using a wide angle lens, but that is not the case. It is literally this tiny no matter how wide the lens is. Let me punch in and show you. We are now punched right in, we're zoomed in, and it is still equally as tiny. Look, the room size has not changed. You just see less of it. Hopefully that helps clear that up a bit. But if the Japanese real estate brochures are to be believed, this place is feature rich and perfect for modern living. They're serious too. They're 100% feature rich and perfect for modern living. The real estate advertisements for this place had me in stitches laughing. I was dying. Let me share the reasons that they think you should live here, and then you can be the judge of whether or not you agree. So getting us started, we have a control panel here, which will actually fill your bath for you, as well as a video intercom to the front door so you know who's there. And then we had this. Okay, this is by far one of my favorites so far because you see these right here. Okay, So these toothpicks here, holding up this plywood board that becomes your kitchen counter, we'll deal with that in a second, were literally pitched as fancy wooden legs that give you the feeling of having furniture. Because as I said, with those stairs, you're likely not getting much furniture up. You could potentially get something in through here, but there are so many wires out there that I don't feel like it'd be safe for them to crane anything up. But continuing on, we have a dual gas burner stove here, as well as a ventilation hood up here. There's a mirror that seems to have fallen off the... There we go. That's fixed. If you like to cook, which in Japan you don't really need to, considering you can get $3 to $5 lunches all over the place and discounted bentos at supermarkets for $5 to $7 at night. But if you like to cook, this is a fairly decent space. The sink is even big enough to wash and do dishes in. Like, I can put this whole binder in here sideways. And you even have a beautiful pink washing machine that can hold up to 5.5 kilograms of laundry. There is no dryer here because Japan doesn't typically do dryers. Instead, Japan will often do this. They'll hang things, or more often than not, in the Japanese bathroom, not this one, you'll have a dryer function that will blow hot air and dry things. But this place in particular actually has a laundromat right across the road, so you could just use the dryer there if you wanted to. A lot of Japanese neighborhoods are built to be really livable this way, and it's one of the great things about living here is you'll have laundromats and public baths and city-funded public gyms and convenience stores. And if you know Japan, you know just how good the convenience stores are. A while back I shared Tokyo's cheapest apartment. It was bare bones, had a lot of borderline terrifying caveats. In fact, you didn't even have a toilet that you could use. But again, it was built for you to live within the city, if that makes sense. And I'm realizing that there's no fridge, but if you were to have a fridge, you could probably set it right here or right here. And a lot of people are gonna be like, well, where is the bed? And in Japan, you would lay down a futon or futon. Like, you could put a bed in here if you wanted to. A single, maybe a semi-double, depends on the size of the frame, but I feel like a lot of your space would get taken up with storage. I often talk about my first ever apartment in Japan, and I think this apartment is the closest to me giving kind of a size reference about here. Let me just test this out for a second. So we'll put my feet here and lay down. Yep. Here you can't really lay side to side. It'd be incredibly uncomfortable. Plus, I had two massive suitcases, but for me, something like this, if I still had the lifestyle I had back then with the very few possessions, this would be very livable. Also, in what might quite seriously be the best added bonus, you have a chance to become friends with your neighbors as they hang their laundry early in the morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. Love the local grandmas. You also have an air conditioner, and at my current count, I think we have a total of 9 plugs in here. Also, pure side note, there's a very evil feature of this place. There's actually a little ledge right here that just blends in, and I have forgotten about it almost every single time. I actually also really like these lights. You can just kind of adjust them and move them wherever you want. I kind of want these at home. Also, when I describe this place as being very livable, I mean, A, if you can afford the 70,000 yen a month rent that's attached to it. B, if this is your cup of tea. And I guess if you don't really have, if you don't have shy bowels, because it doesn't matter blinds closed or not, even if we fully close those up and you sit down here, you are still very aware that that's your front door. Mind you, that could come in handy in one very specific situation. You see, the Japan Broadcasting Corporation, NHK, loves to send people to front doors to collect money from anybody who has a TV as like a fee. I doubt you'd fit a TV in here. And I get a sinking feeling that they probably wouldn't come back a second time if they came up to your door and you were sitting right here and just opened the blinds. If you're curious about the legalities, as you know, they've come up to your front door. I guess it really depends on how much they see. You probably shouldn't go too deep down that rabbit hole. I wonder if there's any form of rooftop access to this place. Unfortunately, no rooftop access. I really wanted to interview one of the residents here, and luckily I got to speak to two of them. They were both incredibly friendly and nice, but kind of gave the different versions of the same response, which is their place is just too cramped and messy right now to show anybody around, so they're gonna have to politely decline. And if this is all the space you have, that feels like it's a reasonable response. But as always, my big question is, would you live here? Let me know down below, and we'll see you again real soon. My Japanese real estate buddy actually found this place for me and insisted I come do it. Glad I did. His channel will be linked.